4B thing. Let's pull up the 4B. So, okay, Trump won the election on Tuesday. A lot of women been very upset. Yeah, go ahead. We'll pull it up. All right, so the 4B movement is a radical feminist movement. It first emerged during the South Korean gender wars during the mid to late 2010s. The name refers to its defining 4 tenets, which all start with the Korean I don't know, roughly meaning no. Its proponents refuse to date, get married, have sex, or have children with cisgender men, as opposed to cisgender women. Okay. Scroll down. Oh, wait, actually, sorry. Go back up really quick. And it says, interest in 4B increased in the United States after the re-election of Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential race. Like the radical feminist movements it arose out of, a small subset of it has been accused of furthering a
transphobia.
Well, I know what it says. However, most proponents of the movement. Okay, scroll down. So these are the beliefs, the 4 no's. No sex with men, bisexu, no giving birth. Anybody here speak Korean? No, okay. All right. No giving birth. Okay, whatever. No dating men, no marriage with men.
This is a nun.
So.
That's a nun.
So. It's a nun.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Well, it's a fucking idiot. What it is. This is the funniest thing in the world. So here's the idea here. The idea here is that a bunch of Christian Bible-thumping conservatives told a bunch of OF prostitutes, hey, we want you to stop being OF prostitutes. In response to this, by taking away what they perceive as their right to abortion, they're saying that they're going to immediately stop being prostitutes. I think it's hilarious and in every way conceivable funny. They're basically playing into exactly what was requested of them, right? Which is, well, you wouldn't have as many abortions if you weren't out sleeping with everything that walked. So by you not doing that, you're not going to have as many abortions. This is the point, right?
Where was that in the article?
He just gave his take on it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I didn't read any of that.
And I would say not everything that walked and paid. Let's get that clear.
Hello.
Yeah, right.
What's wrong with prostitutes?
So here's the general idea. Conservative Christians are saying, look, we don't want there to be abortions, and we think that there will be way less abortions if men and women aren't having promiscuous sex. I agree, that's logical, right? Yes. The less sex that's being had outside of marriage, obviously the less abortions there's going to be. The radical feminist response to this is, oh yeah, well, we'll teach you a lesson by not having sex. I don't see how this is hurting the other side, since that's what they wanted to begin with. I don't actually understand why they're not basically playing into the right wing's hand with this.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
They just sound like a bunch of weirdos. What?
I get what you just said. So to break down the 4B, is it a term that you call someone? Is it a movement?
Well, here,
Could you explain that?
Well, let's break it down more simply. Forget 4B, right? You'll see this trend all over TikTok, and you'll see it all over social media right now with women who are not just radical feminists, but just kind of Harris supporters. And so their essential argument is this: if we can't have abortions, right, then we're just going to stop sleeping around with men. We're just going to stop having sex with men. And this is our way of teaching men a lesson for trying to involve themselves in the details of our bodies. The right wing and conservative right wingers who are like, okay, great, we didn't want you to be having promiscuous sex, which led to abortions anyway, so this is fantastic. So I don't understand how that doesn't actually play against the Harris supporting women exactly.
And that's called 4B? I don't understand. Well, you
It's
said
like where
forget
they're
that.
boycotting men.
So 4B
Yeah, they're
means
boycotting
it's
sex
Choosing to
with men.
boycott men. They're basically
Like
choosing
where
not to
they're
have sex, not to get married, not to date, not to talk to
Right.
men.
So then that's being 4B?
That's like the 4B movement.
Yeah, let's just say that that's
Oh, okay.
4B, yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That just, okay.
But to kind of play into this, doesn't it seem that feminists who would make the claim that women are more than their sexuality and their sexual identity and are not to be objectified as purely sexual objects, if the very first response that they have to men voting in mass that abortions be outlawed to say we'll no longer have sex with you, aren't they essentially just kind of saying that they're sexual objects?
Kind of in a way. I could see
Yeah,
that.
kind of in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's ultimately very ironic that that these women's very first kind of response is to say, "Oh yeah, well we're not going to fuck random people anymore." It's like, well, that was the point, right?
That sucks for you guys, huh?
Yeah. I feel like a majority of the masses did what you implied that they did, which is probably factual. But, you know, if it calls me lazy and I do everything opposite to prove that I'm not, I don't see the bad part of it.
No, but okay, well, I understand what you're saying, but let me maybe give you the response to this, right? Let's say somebody says, okay, you need to go to work because you're lazy, and you're like, I'm not lazy. That's not true, right? I'll show you by going to work. Right? Aren't you doing exactly what they wanted you to do in the first place? Like that, right? Like that you're doing what they wanted you to do to begin with. So wouldn't that be the same case with abortions where they're like, we want you to stop sleeping with men so you have less abortions. And you're like, well, I'll teach you by sleeping with less men so I don't have abortions, right?
Right, I get the concept, yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like it's the same, you're applying the same thing here, right? So that's the general idea.
All right, we have a few guys. We're gonna bump it back up to a $200 TTS, but if there's a few more that trickle in, we'll allow them to come through.
Jess
Obviously,
Gerald donated $69. Brian, you're on fire tonight.
Thank you,
To the
Gerald.
panel,
Appreciate it.
as a gift, I'm getting you all crystals for being so wonderful. What kind of crystal does each panelist want? No charge.
Just
Real quick, what color crystals? What color crystals? Right around the panel.
What color?
Color.
Yeah.
Like
What color crystal?
Just pick a color. Just pick a color that you would like.
Minerals. What's that thing from Breaking Bad? It was like the
Red crystal, blue crystal. What kind of crystal?
I don't want a crystal.
I want
Okay,
one.
but if you were
I
to pick a
definitely
crystal
want
color,
one.
what would it be?
Pink.
minerals.
Okay, pink crystal. Next, color crystal.
I want money.
Okay. Okay, but just give me the best color you got.
Green.
Green. Okay.
For
Next.
money.
Okay, next.
Like an orange.
Orange crystal for you. Okay, next.
Peach color.
Peach crystal for you. Next.
I do a purple crystal, but if you give me the money, I'll get the crystal and I'll show you what I got.
All right, purple crystal for you. Next.
I want
what?
I want a ruby red one.
You want a red crystal.
Ruby
Perfect. Next.
red.
Ruby red.
Nice.
Right there.
Oh, any color's fine.
Come
I don't
on,
know
you
anything
gotta
about
pick. You gotta give us
crystals,
the
that's
color crystal
You got to
want.
pick a color.
Amethyst?
Amethyst.
Amethyst. Okay, so like, isn't amethyst purplish?
Purple.
Yeah, sorta.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Purple.
Purple. Okay, so we all know what crystals you guys are going into. Perfect.
I liked him.
What do I get?
All right, thank you, Gerald. Appreciate it.
You get put in the crystals.
Smithers 25 donated $69.
Thank you. Thank you, Smithers.
4B is perfect. The majority of women that are supporting the movement I highly doubt have any prospects anyways. Lol lol.
Lol.
I agree.
Yo, Smithers, thank you so much, man. I saw something crazy today. Actually, I don't know if I can talk about it on stream. Actually, never mind. Thank you, Smithers, though. Appreciate the TTS.
GMD Jim donated $69.
Yo, Jim.
So,
Thank you, man.
a bunch of commie whores that are down with infanticide are going to stop spreading their legs. So there will be less infanticide. This is the biggest win I have heard in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Trump fixed a problem with radical feminists that people have been having for years, and he didn't even have to do anything but get elected. It's perfect.